Man, I want men to understand that anytime you have a woman that loves to wear makeup, loves to wear wigs and weaves, fake eyelashes, all of this fake stuff, you're going to experience some type of deception, some type of wickedness, i.e., witchcraft, or manipulation. Maybe even a combination of all of those. Today I'm going to break it down, and I'll give you further references is why Jezebel was very deceitful and manipulative and wicked. And you'll understand, man, as a set apart man, when you're interacting with women, you will start to see some of the spiritual wickedness and be able to tie it to how they present themselves. And this is very important because this may be happening in your household. This may be happening and you not even know it. Oftentimes, men fall for this deception because when you think about Hasatan deceived the whole world, man, he's going to use women to do that, just like he used a woman in the garden. And men, a lot of men that desire marriage, desire biblical families, man, you want to address this head on because you have to ask yourself, now, as men, we have to be real. And there's a small group of men who are playing and dibbling and dabbling in this stuff too. And as a real set apart man, you want a real authentic woman. This is why women love everything fake and false. It has to do with deception, it has to do with manipulation. Man, I'll even showcase today why without this deceit, man, they couldn't get their way with men. Let's talk about it.
The Matrix is everywhere. It is all around us. Even now, in this very room. You can see it when you look out your window or when you turn on your television. You can feel it when you go to work, when you go to church, when you pay your taxes. It is the world that has been pulled over your eyes to blind you from the truth. What truth? That you are a slave like everyone else. You were born into bondage. Unfortunately, no one can be told what the Matrix is. You have to see it for yourself. This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back. You take the blue pill. The story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill. You stay in Wonderland, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
All praise to the Most High Yah Shalom. Thank you for tuning in to another Righteous Ruach Spirit-filled episode of the Set Apart Man channel. Once again, I'm back at it in them trenches, handling that kingdom business. This is a channel where we teach men how to live set apart. Part of being set apart is not only having understanding, but walking therein in that understanding. Secondly, teaching men how to be more obedient to the word of the Most High Yahweh. And that comes, and when we think about this topic, oftentimes we don't understand what the Most High Yah is asking of us in our selection of women. So we fall in a lot of these snares. We fall for a lot of these stumbling blocks where the Most High Yah would have it that we would not. And then thirdly, how to navigate this wicked world according to righteousness. Man, when I was younger, nobody ever, all the times that I was in church and things like that, the things that I'm going to reveal to you today, you never heard anybody talk about. And the reason is when you think about this stuff, witches, deceitful as they are, this is why they love this stuff. This is why they have to have a disguise. There's manipulation. And when you look into makeup and these falsehoods, a lot of this stuff comes from Egyptian culture. And the Most High Yah says, follow not the way of the Egyptians. Don't follow their traditions, their customs. Don't follow their likeness or anything that there does, because man, they lived in complete lawless. So you can look up when it comes to fake nails, when it comes to fake hair, when it comes to weaves, adorning the eyelids and things like that. That's Egyptian women. That's where that stuff stems from. So in order to break this down, man, I'm going to take you to the Testament of Reuben, chapter 2, verse 17. But before I dive into that, man, I need every brother out there watching this, man, to smash that like button. Doesn't cost you anything and helps this video get ahead in the algorithm. Secondly, man, subscribe to the Set Apart Man channel. Turn your notifications on. That way you don't miss a single video. Thirdly, comment down below. What do you notice about a woman that operates in her natural capacity without all these enhancements, without all this deceit, compared to a woman that loves makeup and always has to have this stuff on in order to go out the house? Let me know down in the comments. Let's start the dialogue. Man, when we start at verse 17, it says, flee therefore fornication, my children, and command your wives and your daughters that they adorn not their heads and faces to deceive the mind, because every woman who uses these wiles hath been restored for eternal punishment. Think about that. Think about how weighty that is. You're not going to hear this in a Sunday sun worshiping church. And a lot of men are sitting up in Sunday sun worshiping churches led by women who are doing this very same thing. And the reason they tickle ears, the reason they teach for profit, the reason why they pander to women in order to deceive men is because of this right here. Wherever you see makeup, wherever you see all of this facial adornment, the eyelids, the fake eyelids, when you think about women love hair coloring, you got women walking around that are daughters of Zion, want to dye their natural hair. They want to dye it blonde. You want to put red hair. You want to do all this crazy stuff. You want to put wigs and weaves in that's coming from other countries that serve other deities, and you don't know what spiritual condition these people are in, and they're wearing this stuff on their head, and you wonder why we have a problem with delusional women. Okay? Man, when you think about that, man, let me read verse 15. For moreover concerning them, the angel of Yahweh told me and taught me that women are overcome by the spirit of fornication more than men. And in their heart, they plot against men. And by means of their adornment, they deceive first their minds. This is where you got all these women that, man, you doggone get this woman out and about and you're courting her and she's got a face full of this stuff on, fake hair, weave, fake everything. And then later down the road, when you see her, when a washcloth goes across her face and she don't have none of this stuff on, man, she looked like Freddie Jackson. So she had to deceive herself in the mirror and say, yeah, I look good. Yeah, this is me. Yeah, I'm a 10. They deceive their mind first. Okay. And in their heart, they plot against men. And by means of their adornment, they deceive first their minds. And by glance of the eye, instill the poison. And then through the accomplished act, they take them captive. Verse 16, for a woman cannot force a man openly, but by a harlot's bearing, she beguiles him. Hits a lot different. Man, let's go to 2 Kings chapter 9, verse 30. Let's see what manipulation, or let's see how this partakes with Jezebel. So when Jehu came to Jezreel, Jezebel heard it, and she painted her eyes and adorned her head and looked down from the upper window. As Jehu entered into the gate, she said, it is well, Zimri, your master murderer. Then Jehu raised his face toward the window and said, who is on my side? Who? And 2 or 3 officials looked down at him. So when you think about this, she knew that she was about to be put to death. She knew that she was about to be trampled over by these horses. So what did she do to try to evade it, to try to manipulate the situation? She adorned her eyes, her face, her head. Man, let's keep going. 1 Peter chapter 3, verse 3 through 4. Your adornment must not be merely external, with interweaving and elaborate knotting of the hair. You have to think about this. You never hear women compliment each other on their virtue. You never hear them compliment on being When you read about the virtue of the Bible and being graceful, being peaceful, having a meek and quiet spirit, you never hear women compliment each other on this. They always compliment on some stuff that has to do with external adornment. Man, a woman can have this elaborate hairdo, and women will, godly as they are, religious as they are, Christian as they are, whatever denomination they come from. I grew up in the church and all of this foolishness. They will always compliment. And you see this in the Sunday church. You don't see the modest and meek woman getting compliments for actually doing what is righteous. No, you see rebellious women complimenting other women and promoting this stuff to keep going forth. Elaborating, oh girl, where'd you get your hair done? Oh yeah, I had such and such put this weave in, and I got this wig from such and such, and this makeup is this palette. It looks good. They compliment each other on this foolishness. And wearing of gold jewelry or being superficially preoccupied with dressing in expensive clothes, but let it be the inner beauty of the inner person of the heart with imperishable quality and unfading charm of a gentle and peaceful spirit, one that is calm and self-controlled, not over anxious, but serene and spiritually mature, which is very precious in the sight of Yah. You don't hear women ever compliment each other on that. Why? Because they're preoccupied with all of this external adornment and manipulation. Man, we look at Psalms chapter 119, verse 104. David said, man, through thy precepts I get understanding. Therefore I hate every false way. This one's going to crack it wide open. Psalms 101, verse 7. No one who practices deceit shall dwell in my house. No one who utters lies shall continue before my eyes. Most High Yah is not tolerating this. Man, this is why they don't read some of this stuff in the church. Men need to understand this. Man, if you're having all kind of spiritual issues and your woman is, she's being spiritually attacked and causing foolishness and all kind of chaos in your life, look at what she loves. Does she have a wig drawer? Does she have a weave drawer? Is she constantly getting this stuff put in her head? Does she, in order to go to work, in order to go out into the world, in order to go anywhere, does she have to have a face full of this stuff in order to be falsely confident in this false identity? It's all deceit. It's all manipulation. It's all to take advantage of men. When you got to think, man, some of these women are not even confident with the way that the Most High Yah made them. The Most High Yah made women beautifully made. You mean to tell me the Most High Yah, made you with some imperfections, so you got to use this stuff to fix what he didn't do originally? No, man, these women are spiritually void. They're spiritually retarded when it comes to this topic. Man, you have women that get up in the pulpit with all this stuff on. Sarah Jakes, well known for her pulling off her wig sermon, having a stocking cap. It's like, you think about how unlogical it is. You got a head full of hair already, and you're too lazy and sorry to do your own hair. So what do? You take the easy route, the deceptive route. You take that European style hair and you put it on your head and you walk around, like that's really you. No, that's deceitful. That's manipulation. I'm telling you, man, this is one thing. Man, when it comes to Conversations with Soul, you can go check out my boy Conversations with Soul, Immortal Minds on YouTube. Man, this brother was almost married to a woman that was very deceitful, and it came out in the end. He asked her in one of his videos, I don't know if it's still up there, he asked her what was her take on makeup. Why does she feel like she needs it? And back then, I was thinking the same thing that I'm thinking now. And just listening to her answers, I was like, yeah, there's some deceit there. There's definitely some manipulation there. Man, I want men to pay this. Man, I want men to pay close attention. Wherever you have a woman operating with this kind of stuff, and it goes into, women loving these, these girdles, these body shapers to make their body look one way out in public. And then later on, you find out if you were to take her as a wife, man, she's a busted can of biscuits that doesn't take care of herself. Man, you got to think, man, women love these spandex that makes their butt look hiked up. This is the reason why they have to do it. Man, they are more attracted to fornication than men are. And how do they get men to fall? Through fornication, through deceit, through manipulation. Man, this is a lot of women have. I want you to think, you've got some men out here that have married a wife and they don't like the natural version of her because they've only saw the dolled up version the fake, the false, the deceptive version of her, and she knows she's a busted bag of concrete. Without, man, when you think about the Most High Yah creating us, he didn't make any mistakes. He made us look exactly how he wanted us to look. When you think about it, man, it is women that go above and beyond, spend a lot of money and resources on foolishness, on deceit, on manipulation. It's the reason why you got to think, as a man, you're not going to sell me lips. I got lips. As a man, you're not going to sell me butt. You're not going to sell me all of this foolishness that women will buy. And they buy this stuff in order to deceive. What do women that get a BBL go around doing? Oh, this is my real butt. It's all natural. What do they do that? To deceive. Man, you better pay attention, because it's going to get worse, and it's already real out there on the battlefield, especially in these last days. Once again, this is the Set Apart Man, kicking that thing gun barrel straight. Until next time, stay set apart, stay disciplined, and stay in the word of the Most High Yahweh. Pow!